I'm kidding. I wasn't. You turned your volume up, didn't you? I cried myself to sleep. On this video, I'm going to share 20 autism facts you definitely need to know. So let's go. Welcome back, and thank you so much for watching this video. And if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Thanks for taking the time to check out my videos. I'm Orion Kelly, that autistic guy. Since my diagnosis later in life, I've devoted my time to advocating for the autistic community, and I do that through my content, my podcasts, and these YouTube videos. My goal is to raise a level of understanding, acceptance, and appreciation of the autistic community. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in being a part of, well, I'd be super stoked if you'd consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. By subscribing, by watching these videos, by commenting, rating, sharing, you help me reach more people and improve the lives of autistic people right across the planet. You're also welcome to check out my website, orionkelly.com.au. You'll find everything on my website. You can even reach out and send me a message and say, hey, orionkelly.com.au. All right, let's bust some myths and speak the truth, my friend, on life as an autistic person. These are 20 facts on autism you need to know. Autism fact number 1. Not all autistic people like trains and planes and trucks. I was going to say not all autistic people like planes, trains and automobiles, but I thought that might have been like a question on a John Candy movie, and it's a good movie and I don't think it's relevant and it's confusing. Just to clear it up, you don't have to tell your kid they like trains to receive an autism diagnosis. Like, come in, guys. Yeah, great. Okay, question 1. Do you like trains? Say yes. Say yes. He's autistic. Gold. When you dig deeper, it's actually, well, number 1, it's personal to every autistic person. Potentially, it's the movement of the wheels and the train and the sounds and the smells and the way it works, more so than the train. I love planes. I love watching planes. I love watching shows on planes, seeing them, actually at the airport take off. I could go to the airport and just stay in the airport all day, just watching planes take off and land and watching people. Autism fact number 2, you don't have to be a white cis male to be autistic. Autism knows no bounds. Autism does not discriminate based on race, gender, culture, or sexuality. In fact, I've done a few videos on autism and sexuality. You should check them out because the idea that you can only be autistic if you are a white, heterosexual male is actually completely unfounded. Sure, they exist. I'm an example. To be autistic, all you need is a brain that's wired differently. That's it. Not the color of your skin or your sexuality or your culture, just a different brain. Autism fact number 3, I really think this is a big one. You can be autistic and not have any skills or interest in STEM-related fields. Not all autistic people are science wizards. Not all autistic people want to work in IT or cybersecurity. Not all autistic people want to be engineers or mathematicians. Sure, there are some, and good on them, but you don't have to be a science whiz, right? Know about the stars and maths and some sort of Sheldon Cooper dude to be autistic. No, rubbish. Autism fact number 4, did you know that you can be autistic and not have special interests? What? Special interests are just one factor in that restrictive, repetitive behaviors. And sure, they may be common amongst many autistic people, but it doesn't mean it's a prerequisite. Special interests are not always lifelong. They can change, often or a few times in your life. You can have multiple special interests. In fact, I would say it's a term that's kind of made up medically. Restrictive and repetitive behaviors are a legitimate part of the diagnosis. Special interests is just like a thing thrown in there. Not required, my friend. Autism fact number 5, not all autistic people have major sensory issues. Some autistic people have very little to none. Other autistic people are hypersensitive. Sure, regardless of where you are on the spectrum, you probably still experience them far greater than a neurotypical person, a non-autistic person. But it's not all at one level. It's a spectrum. Autism fact number 6, you can be autistic and have an imagination. Sure, some autistic people may struggle with creativity. Some autistic people may struggle with any type of imaginative or creative thoughts and play. But isn't that the same with non-autistic people, right? don't neurotypical people also struggle with these similar things? We aren't all creative, right? Everyone's different. But there is, in my opinion, a myth that one reason or another, autistic people aren't imaginative or creative, and it's absolutely incorrect. Autism fact number 7, autistic people can make phone calls and conduct conversations. I've spoken about this on other videos. I struggle with phone calls, not because I don't understand how to push buttons or talk to, no, actually that's not true. I do struggle to talk to people. Okay, you know what I'm saying. I can technically do it, but I'm filled with anxiety and awkwardness. So autistic people can be, like me, filled with anxiety and awkwardness, fear, whatever else you want to put in there from feelings that are brought up by making phone calls. But we still do it. In this day and age, I find it astounding that the traditional phone call is even still a thing, given the ways we can communicate these days. To me, it's beyond ridiculous that phone calls are still relevant in the majority of communications. I think maybe there's a couple, but maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, autistic people can still make phone calls and conduct conversations. And that is because we're autistic people. We're not trees. We have challenges as autistic people. It doesn't mean we just quit and give up. We work, we try, we overcome, we burn out. Autism fact number 8, autistic people have emotions. What? In fact, some autistic people can actually experience emotions at a hyper level. Not just emotions, sensations. So the idea that we don't have emotions is not only completely wrong, and again, this is different to everyone, but it's actually the reverse. The fact is, autistic people can experience emotions and sensations at a hypersensitive level. We may experience hypersensitivity to almost all of these types of things, or we may experience very little. Fact is, we're all different. But what is a fact is autistic people have emotions. Autism fact number 9, building on number 8, autistic people can understand emotions. Sure, some autistic people may struggle to understand emotions, be that their own or others. Whereas others, like myself, may just require time to process, to interpret, to identify, to understand these emotions. So of course there's challenges. I've just spoken about that, like the extra processing time. But it doesn't mean that we're emotionless or oblivious to the emotions of others. Fact. Autism fact number 10, autistic people can use facial expressions. Have you watched my videos? Am I doing one now? No? Okay, just stop it. Absolutely, autistic people, including myself, may struggle to interpret, to identify, to understand the facial expressions of others, but that doesn't mean that we can't utilize facial expressions to express ourselves. There's a big difference there. We can have facial expressions. Autism fact number 11. This one is really near and dear to my heart, this one. I don't know, I just think it's important. It happens to me a lot. Autistic people do not tell the truth to offend people. Every day of my life, I just talk, communicate, and offend people. People get upset. I don't even remember the last time when I could have a conversation with someone from the start of the day to the end of the day without offending them, without upsetting them. It astounds me. Number one, because it really hurts me. Why would I ever want to have a conversation with someone and hurt them unless I intended to do that? And there's a difference. We're all human. Sometimes you want to hurt someone. Sometimes you intentionally want to say something to hurt someone. That's just being part of the human race. But I'm talking about the regular everyday times, the 99% of times, when that's not your intention. So the fact is, for the most part, autistic people don't view the truth as offensive. Why would we view the truth as offensive? As an autistic person, I view a lie as offensive. If I lie to you, well, isn't that offensive? And people talk about sugarcoating and white lies. So what does that mean? You attack someone while you smile at them? You attack them while you give them a lollipop? Hey man, what are you doing? Don't punch me. What do you mean I'm smiling while I punch you? So, white lie. Telling the truth can be just part and parcel of how an autistic brain works. We have a stronger logical part of our brain than an emotional part of our brain. Some may say we think black and white, concrete. I believe it's more of a right and wrong. There's right and there's wrong. Truth and there's a lie. Only telling lies is offensive. Telling the truth How is it offensive? People are only ever offended by the truth when they know that the truth is the truth. And that's really offensive because it's not a truth they want to accept, own. Autism fact number 12. Autistic people can have a sense of humor. This is kind of like my thing. I'm not saying I'm funny. I'm saying I like to mess around, to have some fun. I like to make people laugh. That's my thing. I enjoy that. It's a joy. It doesn't mean all autistic people are as hilarious as me. I can't be. Not possible. What I'm saying is, we're all different. But the idea that you think autistic people are more like robotic and emotionless and humorless is completely wrong. And as an autistic person, I get this all the time. Okay, so my humor can be very dry, very quirky. My humor also can be very obvious and extroverted and physical, right? So it doesn't mean I have one style, but as a rule, you're going to find autistic people can come across really funny, but in a more subtle way. A lot of times, if you're an autistic person or you have one in your life, you may often hear or be asking, are you serious? Are you being serious or are you being sarcastic? Are you making a joke? Because you know what they said is funny, but you still can't work out because of the delivery, the deadpan, the dryness, whatever, if it's actually supposed to be funny. And you get this a lot. This means that autistic people are funny in their own way. And in my opinion, not only are autistic people funny in their own way, but I think sometimes we can be the funniest person in the room. Autism fact number 13, and this is connected to the sense of humor fact we just did, is that not all autistic people struggle with sarcasm. Some autistic people do, but don't all people in the world, autistic or not, struggle with sarcasm? I talk to people all the time that aren't autistic and they ask me, are you being sarcastic? Well, that's them struggling with sarcasm. So why is this even a thing? Okay, I get that it is a legitimate challenge for some autistic people. I think I'm included. Sometimes I'm like, are you making a joke? Actually, in fact, what I usually say is, are you doing the humor? Bottom line, some autistic people can actually be very sarcastic. I don't know why there has to be a fact, but it's a fact. Autism fact number 14, non-speaking, non-verbal autistic people absolutely can use language and communicate well. We all communicate and use language in our own way. So you can't just write someone off because they're not communicating or using language in the way that you want or you require or you feel comfortable with. And sure, some autistic people can struggle more than others with language and communication. There are devices and resources, things to encourage and enable and assist autistic people to thrive in their lives. Really, the main block, apart from access to those things, is neurotypical non-autistic people not accepting or respecting the differences in communication. Autism fact number 15, you can be autistic and enjoy having a social life. Who would want that? That's not me, I'll tell you. Look, this may be a gender thing. The misdiagnosis of girls and women historically may be as a result of them potentially being able to either make friends or have a circle of friends. But in saying that, even if there is an autistic person who enjoys having a social life, it's probably still going to look very different to a neurotypical person. Okay, so maybe they're a smaller circle of friends. They may enjoy having a small group of friends who all share the same special interest. Again, every autistic person is different. Autism fact number 16, autistic people can make great employees and have successful careers. I shouldn't have to say that as a fact, as in like that's news to people watching, but it is. Okay, so we're different. Yeah, that's right. Autistic people are different. We've got a different brain. We can't take a job in a workplace and then HR tell us, okay, you sign this, you must act not autistic to stay here. We can't, that won't work, right? So in saying the fact that autistic people can be great employees and have successful careers is in fact the responsibility not just of autistic people, but of employers to be inclusive and open and not in a superficial way. Because I know that it all comes down to, what's the win-win? What do we get out of it? The fact is, I believe genuinely, if employers can look at how to help autistic people in the workplace, I genuinely believe they will get not only fantastic productivity, but they will get respect, they will get loyalty, they'll get an employee who really they would hope all their employees are like. There's win-win in this. It's sad that I have to say that. Autism fact number 17, you can be autistic and have fulfilling romantic relationships. Autistic people can have fulfilling relationships. We've talked about friends, circle of friends. We can talk about the physical intimacy stuff in a sec. But specifically on this, some autistic people may not long for that, want that. or may simply struggle with that. Where other autistic people can thrive in fulfilling long-term relationships. This idea that autistic people are loners, no social life, can't have fulfilling romantic relationships, can't be romantic, can't meet the needs of a partner. We all meet them differently and we all have challenges. You just got to watch my video on why I'm a horrible husband. But the fact is, we are still not only entitled to, but capable of having romantic relationships. Autism fact number 18. You can be autistic and enjoy physical intimacy with your partner. Yes, you can. Creepy. Sexuality amongst the autistic community is incredibly diverse. So sure, some autistic people may be asexual, sex repulsed, or they may have different sexual desires and preferences. But what I'm saying is factually, autistic people do enjoy physical intimacy. And I think there is this myth here, like sexless, emotionless robots. It's just not the case. Autism fact number 19, probably the strangest fact I think I've ever had to say, but I'm going to put it out there, my friends. You can be autistic and have good hygiene. Hygiene! Different people have different levels of hygiene, right? Of self-care. There's a myth that autistic people are just horrible at hygiene. Look, it can come from different levels here. Okay, the first level would be, let's look at it from an autistic perspective. Everyone's different. Okay, some have low care needs, some have high care needs. So hygiene can be a challenge for some. The next thing is, some autistic people may have more stresses placed upon them than other autistic people or other people. And life may burn you out. You may melt down or shut down, or you may simply be burnt out. And then self-care, it drops. Okay, cool. But then the next level is just, we're all humans. Everyone has their own perspectives, their own idea of what being clean or hygienic is, their own comfort level, right? Some people just love to go camping in the bush and get dirty and not shower for a week or whatever. My idea of camping is like a 4-star hotel, because I like to be clean. My earliest memories as a child is that I hated being dirty. I hated feeling or being dirty. If my clothing got trashed or dirty or specks or drops, it's no go. Walking or being in a dirty environment, no go. There's an awareness there for some, not for others. Autism fact number 20, final fact of the video. You can be autistic and make eye contact. Eye contact is a thing that I don't, and a lot of autistic people don't particularly enjoy, but it doesn't mean that we can't make it. Now, I always try to tell people, I don't want you to look at the eye contact thing as an important thing, as like a disrespect or you must be autistic. I think it's really important. And that's actual rubbish. And everyone's different. My reason for not making eye contact during some conversations is because to process the conversation, to hear what you're saying, to process it, to digest it, and to provide you with a response that's warranted and respectful of what you've just said, sometimes I need to look away. It's the way I process the information. Trust me, if you force me to look you in the eyes, you might get what you want, but you won't get a response because I haven't processed it or understood it, digested it. So that's why it's important for me to not use eye contact all the time. Doesn't mean I don't use it from time to time. This is, in my opinion, shouldn't even be like a diagnosable thing. If you've seen my videos on my diagnosis story, one of the first people I met regarding a diagnosis told me I can't be autistic because I make eye contact and I went to college. I can't be autistic because I make eye contact from time to time. And I went to uni. That enough eye contact for ya? I really do hope some of those 20 autism facts and my own personal lived experiences thrown in there helped you understand autistic people a little bit better. And if you're autistic, I hope some have resonated with you and you feel less alone. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'd love it if you'd consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, sharing the videos, and thank you so much for your support. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. We'll talk soon.